I have great respect for Brad Lander, Councilman Lander, and I really, his integrity is beyond question to me, and his sincerity with regard to this project, not a question. But I think the issue, and I don't know what happened at that board meeting. I believe both of you. I believe the chairman of the board, I believe the councilman. I wasn't there. But you know something? It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To take the position that they did it and therefore it can't be removed, if in fact it is dangerous, danger to life. It could be your family member, parent, grandparent, who might be on the way to the hospital, coming from whatever direction, running into traffic, running into difficulty, and God forbid, losing a life. In fact, today, my Chief of Staff, Mark Cronenberg, and I, a story was shared with us. I mentioned it to Councilman Lander. I'd be more than willing to have this person speak to him. 2 weeks ago, this member of a community ambulance organization was on the way to Maimonides, ran into traffic, was stuck for X number of minutes. This person said to me, the person died in the ambulance, and he felt that it was due to not getting to the hospital faster. We all know that sometimes the difference of 30 seconds, of a minute, or 2 minutes can be the difference of someone surviving and someone not. And that's the issue, not whether the concrete is there. What are we so concerned about concrete? The issue is whether it is safe. And when you have, the fire department on the way to a fire, I have spent a lot of time in that corner at all different hours. A fire truck cannot make a left turn, I believe it is into 46th Street. Impossible. A rig on the way to a fire to save lives cannot make the turn. No way, no how, that is a fact. So I give a darn about the concrete. We have a letter here, an email just today from the Department of Sanitation, basically saying, please be advised, the recent construction of the Center Island medians on Port Hamilton and 47th Street is a cause of major concern. They pose a huge safety issue to the district's collection and recycling crews. And it goes on to talk in very strong terms about the possible repercussions. And we're not even really into the winter. We don't yet have snow on the ground in that area. When you want a traffic device on your corner, and you are convinced that that traffic device is so important to protect the community, the Department of Transportation puts you through all kinds of hoops. They got to do a study. They got to follow federal regulations. It'll take 18 months. And then they tell you no. And you know, because you live there, you know how dangerous that corner is. I mean, I had a situation on East 4th and M where people died, and the Department of Transportation turned down a traffic device 4 times. And I didn't accept it. And then the end of the story was that we got the people down again from transportation, and we have a traffic device today. They have, can you imagine this? They didn't do a freaking study. They're making major changes in our community. 35 feet islands. I don't know why they're 35 feet. I don't know why they are 35 feet long. No study, ladies and gentlemen. They have a power plant junk. That's what they have. Take a look at it. They never did a study. They have departments. They pay for professionals to, experts who look at everything. They didn't do it. Why? Why did they not do a study? And ladies and gentlemen, they talk about the senior citizens. By the way, why these 4 blocks? Why not 14 blocks? They want to protect the citizens, only the ones living in those 4 blocks? What about the seniors further down? They don't care about those seniors? How did they decide to do it here? Next to a hospital, next to emergency vehicles on the way to the hospital. I was there yesterday for almost 2 hours, but I was there 3 weeks ago, and an ambulance from Midwood was heading to the hospital. I was standing there with a bunch of people. I had to go into the street to direct Midwood ambulance to get through the traffic, the cars and the vehicles in front, because he was rushing to Maimonides 2 or 3 blocks away. That is what the issue is. I don't give a darn what happened in June. I care about the fact that if human life is in jeopardy, we are going to stop this one way or another. That's the issue. The merchants. There's so many other issues. Just doesn't make sense. I got to tell you, I'm in office for 28 years. I have seen crazy and nutty things that government does. This is not the first thing by any means, where money is spent for no reason, for no purpose, because someone has some kind of vision. You know, they want to put trees in. I love trees. I love beautiful scenery. But that's not what this is all about. Why does it have to go all the way down the block? The traffic situation there is impossible. Even during non-rush hours. Makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen. And I am happy that the Department of Transportation is looking at this again. In fact, next week we have a deputy commissioner on behalf of the commissioner coming down to the community. And I ask for one thing from the Department of Transportation. I want someone to come into this community whose mind is open, who hasn't decided in advance, well, we did it, it's got to stay. It doesn't have to stay. So hopefully we will get them to take a second look, and hopefully we will be successful. As far as the seniors are concerned, there are ways to deal with the problem. You know, the digital timers, I love the digital timers. I'm not a senior citizen yet, I'm getting there. But I love those timers to give me some indication as to how much more time I have. I walk with my mother, who's elderly, all the time. She walks very slow. I walked across the street the way I would be walking with my mother, holding my arm, and she carrying her cane. We walked slowly. We did it from both sides. From the time the light changed, there was enough time to get across. But if you want to solve that problem, just increase it by 5 or 6 seconds. Don't interfere with the community. I just want to say, for the record, I am determined to stop this. And the only reason, let me tell you, the only reason that counts, at the end of the day, this is the only thing that should, you know, make us think maybe this is terribly wrong and very dangerous. Dangerous is the word. Is if it will, God forbid, lead to a situation where someone's life will be in jeopardy because of a traffic jam. That is the only issue. And if that is the issue, which it is to me, by the way, without any doubt, and we will be presenting more interesting information that we're doing professionally on the situation on those roads. But if it is about human life, I got to tell you, I'm ready to go pretty far. I'm ready to go pretty far with the people in this community to get the city to take a second look at what they've done. Again, why these 4 blocks? Does anybody wonder how they chose these blocks? What do they throw it up? They put all the different blocks in a little thing and they just picked out 47, 45, 46. The actual fatality, the only fatality in that area was on 50th Street. So why didn't they build this island on 50th Street? Makes no sense. Sometimes government does things that make no sense. Maybe even many times. This is definitely one of them. So I hope that it will be unanimous. And again, the only issue to me is not whether we should have been there before. I didn't know about it. No one came no one notified us. as an elected official representing this neighborhood, we never got a notice from the Department of Transportation. Do you think I deserve the notice? I represent this community? Where's there such a notice? Can they produce the notice addressed to my office? Doesn't exist. Because they decided this was best for us. And we don't know what's good for us. They know better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Hikind. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Anybody else want to speak on the motion, a board member? Any board members?
I say we vote on the motion and second the motion. And
The second was already. All right. Sharon, can you repeat the motion?
The motion is that we send a letter and express the consensus of Community Board 12 that as the Community Board did not have an opportunity to discuss and review the project, the consensus is the transportation on the board to oppose the new crossing islands and curb extensions in our district. And we further ask that the DOT stop the project until it is brought back to Community Board with full traffic pattern studies for review and public hearing. The Community Board feels that it is a public safety concern. It poses a hazard to ambulances, fire trucks, etc. It is in a bad location, and the board feels that it should be restored to the previous condition. All work in this project should cease until such time that it goes through the public review process at the Community Board 12. I'm not running for public law.
Okay. All in favor? Those members opposed? Any members abstaining? Okay, it passes. Motion passes. Yes. No. Abstaining? Okay, Maggie Tobin is abstaining. Okay, Peter Ribbonwarzel, variance.